Hey besties, welcome back. Today I'll be teaching you everything you need to learn about nail forms and how to apply acrylic on them to create a perfect sculpted nail. If you loved our Acrylic for Beginners video, you'll love this one even more. Now let's get started. Let's start with what a form is. A form is used to extend the length of the nails instead of using a nail tip. Here are two different forms I like to use. This one right here is clear, as you can see. It's also shorter and wider. I like to use this one when I'm sculpting shorter nails. Another great thing about forms is that you can control how curved the nail is. A lot of nail tips are flat and not as curved as some clients like, so this really helps you get the perfect C-curve. Now this form is much longer, allowing me to create a really long extension. This also works for shorter nails if that's all you have, but I'd cut the tip right here so we don't have all this excess. Here you can see you can still get a nice curve. Forms are going to allow you to create a really custom shape for the nails that, if done properly, will fit your clients perfectly. In my opinion, they really enhance the overall quality of the set. On the prep side, forms are no different than any other nail enhancement. To see how I went from this to this, click on the link above and learn all my tips and tricks from prepping to preventing lifting. Today I'm going to use my long forms. These are super easy to peel up. You see this little piece right here? Don't throw it out. This is the perfect size to fit right here to give a little added strength to the form. Now I'm going to close the flaps together and tear this little perforated part. Now you can hold these little flaps to control where you place it. To place it, you want to go right up under the nail, nice and snug. Tuck it in and put a little pressure on the sidewalls to adhere it. And depending on the shape you're making, you'll want to pinch the tip right here. I'm starting with the stiletto. The numbers will help you gauge how long to make the nail and will help you ensure to keep a uniform length throughout the whole set. Another handy thing with this form is that if you applied it correctly, this line down the middle is the center of the nail, which really helps when doing a stiletto. Once you determine the length that your client wants, you always want to pinch right here so there is a point at your stiletto. I'm going to show you a couple different ways to use forms. Just like always, I'm going to wet her nail a bit with monomer to ensure that the product sticks to the nail and eliminates air pockets and bubbles. For this first one, I'm going to start with a clear to create a canvas. Make sure the bead isn't too runny. You want to be able to control this. When I'm doing a fresh acrylic set on my clients, I like to use the forms instead of the tips because it lets me skip a few steps and save some time. I don't have to size and attach the nail tip, file the ledge, and shape up the sides of the tip. Right after I'm done prepping the natural nail, I can go right into applying the acrylic and shape up the nails as I apply it. This saves me so much time, which lets me fit in more clients. When you're shaping this, let the lines guide you. Once the acrylic is dry, you want to pull back these flaps and give it a little pinch right here, and it should come right off. I'm going to give the sides a little shape up. Now that it's shaped and I'm ready for some color, I'll wet the nail to make sure it sticks. I'll grab my bead and just follow the structure we've created. This color is Touch-a Pink from our Colorblind collection. Nails created with the nail form are commonly referred to as sculpted nails because you're creating an extension that is perfectly sculpted for each finger. I'm going to cover this in clear again to sandwich it and give it a lot of strength. On this next nail, let's form it into a ballerina shape. I'll apply the form the same way as before, like my stiletto. For this application, I'm going to keep it on the nail form the whole time. I'll start with a thin layer of clear, but we can jump straight into color now. Now ballerina shaped nails are essentially just like a stiletto, but the tip is flat instead of at a point. Now let's encapsulate this in clear and let it dry. Now that it's dry, let's remove the form just as we did before. This next nail, let's make it a coffin. So with the form, I'm only going to pinch the middle flap closed just because we want it a little wider from side to side to create a wider coffin shape. I'm applying it the same, only without pinching the center, so it looks kind of tube-like. Great, now I'll continue with the application as normal with my clear base, a bead of color, and encapsulating with clear. For the index finger right here, you can see the free edge is chipped a little. The good thing about the form is that it's not going to be an issue. With the form, you can go right under and it's going to be fine. This time, we're going to do an almond shape, so I'll pinch both of these flaps this time. When you tuck the form into a chip nail like this, you'll want to start on the full edge so it has something to hold on to, and then just follow it over, making sure it's still tucked into the side wall right here. And now, just like the stiletto and ballerina, I'll pinch right here so I have a point at the right length. I'll repeat the same steps as the other nails, but when I shape it, I'll make sure to round out the tip a little more to give it a nice almond shape. Great, now we have all of our nails and they're completely dry, so we can begin to file with our hand file. Now I'm going in with my medium grit cone bit to fine tune the overall shape of my nails, making sure the cuticle area is nice and smooth and my apex is nice and rounded. Let's continue with a nice quick buff so we can smooth out the nail and remove out any lines that may have been created by my bit. Time for the top coat. My client is in love with Kiara Sky's Velvet Matte top coat, so that's what we'll be using today. I'll apply it and cure for a full 60 seconds. And here's the completed look. What do you think, besties? Are you ready to give forms a try? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when we post another video just like this one. See you next time, besties. Bye!